And we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the third part of the show, we are going to now talk about our favorite division, or one of our favorite divisions in the NFL, and that is the NFC South, and where that is after Week 8. I have no idea who's going to win this division. I really don't. The Falcons losing on Sunday to the Titans. Will Levis making his NFL debut. They lost 28-23. Will Levis had 4 touchdowns in that game, 3 to DeAndre Hopkins, 1 to Westbrook-Ikhine. Desmond Ridder left the game. He was getting evaluated for a concussion. I think he was cleared, and then they didn't put him back in the game. They put Taylor Heinicke in the game. And now Arthur Smith is not committing to any quarterback at the moment. I mean, there's going to be a decision at some point. But I would expect that Taylor Heinicke is going to be the starting quarterback on Sunday when the Falcons take on the Vikings. Because I think Heinicke can win you games. Right now, Desmond Ridder just has not looked like the guy. He continues to turn the ball over. And, I went against the grain with that pick. I was like, listen, the Falcons, rookie quarterback, they should win this game, right? But I took the Titans at home, and they were wearing those awesome uniforms. I was like, how could you not take the Titans? And the Titans ended up winning the game. And the Falcons, they ended up, that was a brutal game they lost there. And listen, they are in good position to win the division. I mean, right now when you look at it, they're 4-4. The Saints now are 4-4. The Bucs are 3-4. And guess what? The Panthers, they just won their first game of the season against the Texans. So, listen, if they could string together a couple of wins, before you know it, maybe they're in consideration for winning the division, possibly. I still don't. It's a long shot, but I mean they're 2.5 games out. I mean they got to stack up some wins if they're going to have any chance. But right now you have the Falcons and the Saints at the top of the division. I have no idea. I don't trust any of these teams, if I'm going to be honest. I mean, the Bucs, they were 3-1, and then they've lost 3 in a row. You know, the Saints, they did pick up a win against the Colts. They put up 38 on them, and they got the win. Kamara looks good since he's come back from his suspension. Michael Thomas has been good. He's been healthy. Chris Olave actually did play in this game. But I still don't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't trust the Falcons. I don't trust any of these teams, so I really have no idea. I mean, I guess at this point, right now you lean towards the Saints, I guess. I mean, I was saying you lean towards either the Saints or the Bucs. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on how Heinicke does with the Falcons. Because the Falcons, their skill position players are really good. Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. They got playmakers on that offensive side of the ball. They need the quarterback. Now, is Taylor Heinicke, the answer? No, not the long-term answer. But you know what? I think Taylor Heinicke, he gives you the better chance to win than Desmond Ridder. I think it's safe to say that. He's won games in the NFL. Obviously, he played in the playoff game against Tom Brady, and that was, he almost beat Tom Brady. Well, almost might be a little bit strong to say, but I mean, it was a competitive game. It was. That was back in 2020. Empty stadium, and that was his. I think that was his first career start, like ever. And he played really well in that game. Actually, I think he was like the best quarterback statistics wise going against that Bucs defense in the playoffs that year, because then they went on and they beat Breeze, they beat Rodgers, they beat Mahomes. Well, Mahomes had the worst game of all of them. But I have to go back and look. But, yeah, I mean, give Taylor Heinicke a chance. I mean, you got a chance at this division. And, Taylor Heinicke with this supporting cast, I think he could do well. Now, I don't expect the Falcons to really do anything this year because I don't look at them or really any team in the South as, a legit Super Bowl contender. I don't. So I think, whoever makes the playoffs, I think they're going to be knocked out in the first round. But, as long as you got a chance to win the division, I mean, I think you got to give Heinicke a chance. Like I said, he gives you a better chance to win than the other quarterbacks that you have on your roster. Desmond Ridder. So if they do that, we'll see. I mean, they got a game against the Vikings, and the Vikings are going to be missing Kirk Cousins, who's obviously going to be out the rest of the year with the torn Achilles. That was made official yesterday. So just terrible. Injuries have just been awful. They've ruined the season. And, it was kind of upsetting, seeing, all of these, goodbye Kirk Cousins videos on TikTok. This is it for him. Is it really like that? That's it? They're just, I know it's a significant injury, but, you would think the Vikings maybe want to bring him back, but I don't know. I guess because, of the type of injury that he has, and, I guess they don't want to be the ones to pay. I don't know. But he was having a great year. And now the Vikings, we'll see. Maybe they trade for a quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. His name has been floated around. Jameis Winston, maybe. Obviously, he's backing up the one of the backups for the Saints. But yeah, back to the original point. NFC South. Who wants it? Really, who wants to win this division? Seriously. I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe the Panthers come out of nowhere and they say, "Hey, we'll take it." They picked up their first win. They did win a very low scoring game. Final score ended up being 15-13. But you know what? A win is a win. A win is a win. No matter how ugly it is. We saw some ugly football on Sunday, especially for the Jets and Giants fans out there. Yeah. So you take whatever you can get. But yeah, with this division, let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys think is going to win this division? We're going to have this conversation every single week. What happens on Sunday, then we'll talk about it next week. But this season, especially, it's a week-to-week thing. You have no idea who is going to win this division. It's going to be different. The Bucs, they were 3-1. It looked like it was going to be them. Now all of a sudden, the Falcons, they picked up that huge win against the Bucs last week. That it looked like, the Saints haven't looked good. Maybe it's them. The Falcons. Now the Falcons lose to a rookie quarterback. Saints pick up a win. Now they're both tied at 4-4. So, it's might come down to the last week of the season, I guess. I don't know. You look at the Saints. To me, the Saints should be the team that wins the division. Because I think, they have the best quarterback out of those three teams. I would say Derek Carr is probably better than Baker Mayfield, slightly. He's kind of been disappointing the last couple of seasons. You got Alvin Kamara. You have Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, productive wide receivers. Rashid Shaheed is an underrated player. He had a great game too on Sunday. What was his stat line from Sunday? Let's take a look. I know I went over it yesterday, but he had 3 receptions for 153 yards and a touchdown. And then another thing too, Taysom Hill, the Swiss Army knife. He had two more rushing touchdowns in this game. So the Saints have a good offense on paper. It's just they've been. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't think they have the right head coach. There's been a lot of complaints on social media about the play calling. Obviously, checking down to Alvin Kamara a lot is not going to win you games. Although Kamara is an explosive player, but obviously he's not. He's now his rookie season was a long time ago. It was 2017. He's getting older too, even though it's. I'm saying that, and he's 27, 28 years old. But again, running backs you age quicker, so that's why I'm saying that. Even though he's 5-6 years older than me. So, 4 or 5. But yeah, you gotta at least like what you saw from Sunday. Put the ball in your playmakers' hands. Taysom Hill, continue to implement him into your offense. Kamara, he continues to do his thing. And, you continue to develop your rapport with your receivers. I mean, if they could get on the same page, Derek Carr and his receivers, the Saints can definitely be the team that wins it. But I don't know. They got to show us more. I mean, now you got a game coming up against the Bears. Bajan, I think, is going to be the starter again. I think the Saints should win that game. There's no reason they shouldn't lose that game. They shouldn't win that game. That's a game they should win. But we'll see. The Bucs, they'll be taking on the Texans. The Panthers will be taking on the Colts. And the Falcons, they will be taking on the Vikings. So we'll see what happens after this, after Week 9, where the teams are once again. But, I mean, right now, I have no idea. I really have no clue who's going to win this division. It's really hard to predict. But we'll see. I mean, it's a fascinating thing to talk about because you really just don't know. And I think what would be hilarious is if the Panthers just come out of nowhere and they, get themselves involved in the conversation. But I think that's asking for a little bit too much. So, but once again, let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys think is going to take this division? Because somebody's got to win it. Somebody has to. But it seems like week to week we're playing hot potato on, you take the division. No, you take the division. It's. But like I keep saying, this year especially, the NFL is a week to week thing. You have no idea who's good and no idea. And you just have no clue. Any team could be beat. You see that. Ben just said in the chat, Falcons win the NFC South with a favorable schedule and a decent defense. Ritter is the question mark. Yeah. That's really what it comes down to is the quarterback position. You get good quarterback play, you might have to take the Falcons. If the Saints, if they could build off of this win, you can give an argument for them. The Bucs, they were 3-1 at one point. You figure they're gonna. They had. I know when I looked at their schedule, they had a lot of winnable games there too. So I don't know. We'll just have to see. So with that, we are going to take our final break of the show. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and what happened to them on Sunday. And is this something to be worried about, or is this just, just one of those games that they just, to forget about? So stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.